Hello, my wonderful English learners. Welcome back to our storytelling classroom. Today, I have a story that might completely change how you think about learning English. But first, let me ask you something. Do you brush your teeth every morning? Do you check your phone when you wake up? Do you make coffee or tea the same way each day? Of course you do. You don't think about these things. You just do them automatically. Automatically. This means without thinking about it, like a natural action. Now, what if I told you that English fluency works exactly the same way? What if the secret to speaking English naturally isn't about studying harder, but about making English as automatic as brushing your teeth? Today, I want to tell you about Maria, a young woman who discovered that English isn't something you learn once and keep forever like a trophy. Instead, she learned that English is something you build day by day, habit by habit, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Trophy. This is a prize you win and keep to show your achievement. Are you ready to discover Maria's secret to English fluency?
Maria lived in Mexico City and had been studying English for 5 years. She knew thousands of English words. She understood grammar rules perfectly. She could read English books and watch English movies with subtitles. Subtitles, these are words that appear on the screen to show what people are saying. But Maria had a big problem. When she tried to speak English, something terrible happened. Her mind would freeze. Her mouth wouldn't move. She would think in Spanish first, then try to translate to English, and by the time she figured out what to say, the conversation had moved on. Freeze. This means to become unable to move or speak, usually because of fear or confusion. Translate. This means to change words from one language into another language. Maria was frustrated. She would say to herself, "I know so much English. Why can't I speak it naturally?" Frustrated. This means feeling upset because you can't do something you want to do. Every morning, Maria would wake up and promise herself, "Today I will speak more English." But by evening, she realized she had spent the entire day speaking Spanish, thinking in Spanish, and living in Spanish. English felt like a separate world that she could only visit during her study time. Promise. This means to make a commitment or agreement with yourself or others. Entire. This means complete or whole. Maria treated English like a school subject, something she studied for 2 hours, then put away until the next study session. She had notebooks full of grammar rules, vocabulary lists, and perfect English sentences she had written. But when she needed to speak naturally, all of that knowledge seemed to disappear. Subject. This is a topic or area you study, like math or history. Study session. This is a period of time when you focus on learning something. One day, Maria was walking home from work, feeling discouraged about her English progress. She stopped at a small cafe and overheard 2 people speaking. One was clearly a native English speaker, and the other was a Spanish speaker like herself. But this Spanish speaker was talking fluently in English, naturally, confidently, without hesitation. Maria was amazed. This person didn't sound like they were translating. They didn't pause to think about grammar. They were just speaking. Speaking English like it was completely natural. Amazed. This means very surprised and impressed.
Maria couldn't help herself. She approached the Spanish speaker during a break in their conversation. "Excuse me," Maria said in English, nervously. "I heard you speaking English so naturally. How did you learn to speak like that?" Approached, this means went closer to someone to talk to them. Nervously, this means feeling worried or scared about doing something. The woman smiled warmly. Her name was Carmen, and she had been living in Mexico her whole life, just like Maria. "I used to struggle exactly like you," Carmen said. "I spent years studying English grammar, memorizing vocabulary and reading textbooks, but I couldn't speak naturally." Struggle, this means to have great difficulty doing something. Memorizing, this means learning something so well that you can remember it perfectly. Then I discovered something that changed everything. I learned that English isn't a skill you acquire once. English is a habit you build every single day. Acquire, this means to get or obtain something. Habit, this is something you do regularly without thinking about it. Maria looked confused. "What do you mean?" Carmen continued. "Think about your native language, Spanish. When you speak Spanish, do you think about grammar rules? Do you translate from another language? No. You just speak because it's automatic. It's a habit your brain built over many years." Native language. This is the first language you learned as a child. But English can become the same way, Carmen explained. The secret isn't studying more. The secret is making English part of your daily life, so automatic that you don't need motivation or reminders. Motivation. This is the feeling that makes you want to do something. Reminders. These are things that help you remember to do something. Carmen invited Maria to sit down, and she began to share the secrets that had transformed her English from stiff and awkward to natural and fluent. "Maria," Carmen said, "what happens in your mind when you want to say something in English?" Maria thought for a moment. "Well, I think about what I want to say in Spanish, then I try to translate it to English, then I worry if the grammar is correct, then I finally speak. Translation trap. This means the problem of always thinking in your native language first. Carmen nodded. That's exactly the problem. You're creating a translation bridge in your mind. Every time you want to speak English, you have to cross this bridge from Spanish to English. This creates delays, hesitation, and stress. Bridge. This is a structure that connects two places. Here it means the mental connection between languages. Delays. These are pauses or waiting times that slow things down. But children don't learn language this way, Carmen continued. When a child sees water, they don't think agua, then translate to water. They see water, they hear water, they say water. There's a direct connection between the thing and the English word. Direct connection. This means a straight link between two things without anything in between. So, how do I break this habit of translating? Maria asked. Carmen smiled. You start small and you start now. Right now, look around this cafe and describe what you see directly in English. Don't think in Spanish first. Maria looked around nervously. I see a cup. The cup is white. There are people talking. The music is soft. Perfect, Carmen said. You didn't translate those sentences. You thought directly in English. That's the beginning of fluency. Carmen explained that the key was to train the brain to think in English through simple daily practice. Start with basic observations about what you're doing. I am drinking coffee. I am walking. The weather is nice. Say these things out loud, even when you're alone. Observations. These are things you notice about what's happening around you. The goal isn't perfect grammar, Carmen emphasized. The goal is building direct English thinking. Grammar will naturally improve as you practice. Emphasized. This means said something in a strong way to show it's important. If you're enjoying Maria's discovery so far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can learn more English through stories with us.
Now, Carmen said, let me teach you the most important secret. English fluency doesn't come from study time. It comes from making English part of your daily routine. Daily routine. This is the set of activities you do every day. What do you mean? Maria asked. Think about this, Carmen explained. You brush your teeth every morning without thinking about it. You check your phone. You make breakfast. You get dressed. These are habits, automatic actions you do every day. English fluency works the same way. Instead of having English study time, you need to weave English into all of these daily activities. Weave. This means to connect or combine things together smoothly. Carmen taught Maria about what she called habit triggers. These are things you already do every day that can remind you to use English. Habit triggers. These are events or actions that remind you to do something automatically.
For example, Carmen said, every morning when you wake up, instead of thinking your first thoughts in Spanish, say one English sentence out loud. Good morning. Today is a new day. Or, I feel grateful for this day. Grateful. This means feeling thankful and appreciative. When you make coffee or tea, describe what you're doing in English. I am making coffee. The water is hot. I am adding sugar. When you brush your teeth, think in English. I am brushing my teeth. My teeth feel clean. Maria was amazed by how simple this sounded. But what if I make mistakes? Carmen laughed gently. Mistakes are perfect. When you're building a habit, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. The goal is making English automatic. Consistency. This means doing something regularly without stopping. Think of it this way, Carmen continued. You're not trying to become perfect at English overnight. You're trying to make English part of who you are every single day. Overnight. This means very quickly, in a short time. Carmen shared her own daily English habit system. Morning, first thought in English. Breakfast, describe food in English. Commute, listen to English and repeat sentences. Work breaks, think in English for 2 minutes. Evening, reflect on the day in English. Bedtime, say good night to herself in English. Commute. This is the journey from home to work and back. Reflect. This means to think carefully about something. The beautiful thing about this system, Carmen explained, is that it doesn't require extra time. You're doing these activities anyway. You're just doing them in English.
Maria, Carmen said, there's something else very important. You've been training your brain to understand English, but have you trained your mouth to speak English? Training your mouth means practicing the physical movements needed to speak clearly. Maria looked puzzled. What do you mean, train my mouth? English has different sounds than Spanish, Carmen explained. Your mouth, your tongue, your lips need to learn new movements. It's like learning to dance. Your body needs practice, not just your mind. Tongue. This is the muscle inside your mouth that helps you speak and taste. Carmen taught Maria 3 powerful techniques for training her mouth. First, shadowing. Find a short English video or audio, Carmen said. Listen to a sentence, then immediately repeat it out loud, trying to copy exactly how it sounds. Copy the rhythm, the emotion, the speed. Shadowing. This means repeating what you hear immediately after hearing it. Rhythm. This is the musical pattern of sounds in speech. Don't worry about understanding every word perfectly. Focus on making your mouth move like the speaker's mouth.
Second, mirroring. Watch English speakers on videos, Carmen continued. Don't just listen to their words. Watch their facial expressions, their gestures, their energy. Then, practice copying not just what they say, but how they say it. Mirroring means copying someone's actions and expressions. Facial expressions, these are the looks on your face that show emotions. Gestures, these are movements you make with your hands while talking. Third, powerful repetition. Choose one beautiful English sentence every day, something that inspires you or makes you happy. Then, say it 20 times throughout the day until it becomes effortless. Effortless means easy to do without trying hard. For example, you might choose, I am becoming more confident every day, or I speak English naturally and fluently. Say it when you wake up, when you're walking, when you're cooking. Carmen explained that repetition builds muscle memory in the mouth, just like practicing piano builds muscle memory in the fingers. Muscle memory is when your body learns to do something automatically through practice. The goal is to make speaking English feel as natural as speaking Spanish. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more English learning stories and techniques.
Inspired by Carmen's advice, Maria decided to start her English habit system the very next day. Inspired, this means feeling motivated and excited to do something. Day 1, Maria woke up and before checking her phone said out loud, "Good morning, world. Today I will practice English." It felt strange at first, but she did it. During breakfast, she described her food. I am eating toast with jam. The jam is strawberry. It tastes sweet. Jam, this is a sweet spread made from fruit. On her way to work, instead of listening to Spanish music, she found a simple English podcast and tried shadowing, repeating sentences immediately after hearing them. Day 2. The morning English sentence felt a little more natural. During lunch, she thought in English. This soup is hot. I am hungry. The weather is cloudy today. Cloudy. This means the sky is covered with clouds. Day 3. Maria chose her first powerful sentence for repetition. I am becoming more fluent every day. She said it while brushing her teeth, while walking, while waiting for the elevator. Elevator, this is a machine that takes people up and down in tall buildings. The first week was challenging. Sometimes Maria forgot to use English. Sometimes she felt silly talking to herself. Sometimes she made mistakes and felt embarrassed. Challenging, this means difficult, but in a good way that helps you grow. Silly, this means foolish or not serious. Embarrassed, this means feeling ashamed or uncomfortable about something. But something interesting started happening around day 10. Maria noticed that she was beginning to think some thoughts directly in English without translating from Spanish first.
When she saw a beautiful sunset, her first thought was, "The sky is beautiful," in English, not Spanish. Sunset. This is when the sun goes down in the evening and the sky becomes colorful. By day 15, Maria's mouth felt more comfortable making English sounds. The shadowing practice was helping her pronunciation improve naturally. Pronunciation. This is how you say words and sounds in a language. By day 21, something magical happened. Maria was at work when a colleague asked her a question in English. Instead of her usual process of thinking in Spanish, translating, and then speaking, Maria responded immediately and naturally in English. Her colleague was surprised. "Maria, your English sounds so much more natural. What have you been doing?" Maria smiled. She realized that English was starting to become a habit, not just a subject she studied.
As Maria continued her daily English habits, the changes spread to other areas of her life. Ripple effect. This is when one change causes other positive changes, like ripples in water. At work, Maria felt more confident participating in English meetings. She wasn't perfect, but she was natural. She spoke with flow instead of stopping to translate every thought. Participating. This means taking part in something actively. Flow. This means smooth, continuous movement or speech. Maria's friends and family noticed the change. Her sister asked, "How did you become so much better at English so quickly?" Maria explained Carmen's secret. "I stopped studying English and started living English. I made it part of my daily routine instead of a separate activity." Separate activity. This means something you do apart from your normal daily life. Inspired by Maria's progress, her sister decided to try the habit system too. Then her best friend tried it. Soon, Maria had created a small group of people who practiced English habits together. They would send each other voice messages in English, describing their daily activities. They would meet once a week to practice shadowing together. They supported each other on days when motivation was low. Voice messages. These are recorded spoken messages you can send through your phone. Supported. This means helped and encouraged each other. Maria realized that building English habits was even more powerful when you had a community of people doing it together. Community. This is a group of people who help and support each other. 3 months after meeting Carmen, Maria had an opportunity to attend an international conference for work. 6 months earlier, she would have been terrified to speak English in professional settings. Opportunity. This is a chance to do something good or beneficial. International conference. This is a meeting with people from many different countries. Professional settings. These are work-related situations. Terrified. This means extremely scared. But now Maria felt ready. Not because she was perfect, but because English had become part of who she was. It felt natural, automatic, and confident. At the conference, Maria spoke naturally with colleagues from different countries. She made presentations, asked questions, and even made jokes in English. People complimented her fluent, natural English. Complimented.
This means said nice things about someone's abilities or achievements. When Maria returned home, she realized that the shy, hesitant English speaker she used to be had been completely transformed. Hesitant. This means uncertain and not confident.
1 year later, Maria was sitting in the same cafe where she had first met Carmen. She was now helping other English learners discover the power of habit-based fluency. Mentor. This is someone who teaches and guides others based on their experience. Habit-based fluency. This means becoming fluent by building daily English habits. A young man approached her table nervously. "Excuse me, I heard you speaking English so naturally. I've been studying for years, but I can't speak fluently. How did you learn?" Maria smiled, remembering herself asking Carmen the exact same question. She invited the young man, Carlos, to sit down. "The secret," Maria said, "is that English isn't something you learn once and keep like a trophy. English is something you build every day through habits." Maria shared with Carlos the same wisdom Carmen had shared with her. Break the translation habit by thinking directly in English. Weave English into your daily routine. Train your mouth through shadowing, mirroring, and repetition. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Make English part of your identity, not just a subject you study. Identity, this is who you are as a person. The most important thing, Maria emphasized, is to start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to feel ready. Start with something small and build from there. Carlos looked skeptical. "But what if I make mistakes? What if I sound stupid?" Skeptical. This means having doubts about whether something will work. Maria laughed kindly. "I made thousands of mistakes, and I still make mistakes. But mistakes are how habits get stronger. Every mistake teaches your mouth and brain how to do better next time." As Carlos left the cafe with renewed hope and a clear plan, Maria felt grateful for her journey. She thought about how different her life was now. The confidence, the opportunities, the connections with people from around the world. Renewed. This means fresh and strong again. Most importantly, she realized that English had become so much more than communication skills. It had become a bridge to a more confident, more connected version of herself.
Today, Maria continues to live her English habits naturally. She doesn't think about them as English practice anymore. They're just part of who she is. Ongoing journey. This means something that continues without an end. When she wakes up, her first thoughts are sometimes in English, sometimes in Spanish, and often a mix of both. When she talks to herself while cooking, it might be in either language, depending on her mood. Mix, this means a combination of different things. Maria learned that true fluency isn't about choosing one language over another. It's about having the freedom to express yourself naturally in multiple languages. Express yourself. This means to communicate your thoughts and feelings clearly. Multiple. This means more than one. She still practices shadowing when she hears interesting English content. She still mirrors speakers who have communication styles she admires. She still repeats powerful phrases that inspire her. Admires. This means respects and looks up to. But now these practices feel natural and enjoyable, not like work or study. They're part of her lifestyle, just like exercising or eating healthy food. Lifestyle. This is the way you choose to live your daily life. Maria often reflects on the difference between her old approach and her new approach. Old approach, study English for 2 hours, then live in Spanish for the other 22 hours. New approach, live in English throughout the day in small, natural ways. Reflects on, this means thinks carefully about something. Throughout, this means during the whole period of time. The transformation wasn't magic, it was consistency. It wasn't about talent, it was about building systems. It wasn't about perfection, it was about progress. Transformation, this means a complete positive change. Systems, these are organized methods or routines. Progress, this means improvement over time.
And that, my dear students, is the inspiring story of Maria and how she discovered that English fluency is not a skill you acquire, but a habit you build. Let me summarize our story. Maria struggled with English because she was treating it as a subject to study rather than a habit to live. With Carmen's guidance, she learned to break the translation trap, weave English into her daily routine, and train her mouth through consistent practice. By making English automatic rather than forced, Maria transformed from a hesitant speaker to a confident, natural communicator. Here are 5 key words to remember from today's story. Habit, something you do regularly without thinking about it. Automatically, doing something without conscious effort or thinking. Consistency, doing something regularly without stopping. Flow, smooth, natural speech without hesitation. Weave, to connect or integrate things together naturally. Now, let me ask you, what English habit could you start tomorrow morning? What daily activity could you begin doing in English? Remember, fluency isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's not about studying harder, it's about living English naturally, one day at a time. Thank you for joining me on Maria's journey to English fluency. If you enjoyed learning English through this practical story, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tell me in the comments what English habit will you start building today. Until next time, remember Maria's discovery. English is not something you study. English is something you live every day, in every way. Keep building, keep practicing, and keep making English part of who you are.